I married my student. Chapter 1. The First Class. When I first walked into the classroom that morning, I never imagined my life was about to change. I was 28, newly hired as a literature lecturer at a private college in New Delhi. Nervous but excited, I clutched my lesson plan and smiled at the rows of young faces staring back at me. Among them was Rohan. He sat in the second row, tall, with curious eyes and a mischievous smile. Unlike others who slouched or whispered, he looked straight at me, as though genuinely interested. I began with Shakespeare's sonnets, my favorite subject. "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?" I read aloud. Most students doodled or yawned, but Rohan raised his hand. "Ma'am," he said, "do you think Shakespeare wrote this for someone he loved? Or was it just art?" The room went silent. It wasn't a textbook question. It was deeper. I smiled. "Maybe both," I replied. "Sometimes love inspires art, and sometimes art teaches us about love." He nodded thoughtfully, and in that moment, I knew he wasn't an ordinary student. Chapter 2. Curiosity. Weeks passed, and I noticed Rohan more and more. He always came prepared, asked questions, and stayed after class to discuss literature. While other students rushed off, he lingered. "Do you believe love stories always need happy endings?" he asked one afternoon. I laughed softly. "As a teacher, I should give you an academic answer. But as a woman?" I paused, surprising myself with my honesty. "I think not every love story ends happily, but that doesn't mean it wasn't worth living." His eyes lingered on me, thoughtful and intense. For the first time, I felt a strange flutter in my chest. I quickly reminded myself, he's your student, nothing more. Chapter 3. The Bond. Over time, our conversations grew deeper. We talked about books, poetry, even our dreams. He told me he wanted to be a writer. I encouraged him, lending him novels from my personal collection. One day, he handed me a notebook. "I wrote this poem. Will you read it?" I read silently. She stands at the front, her voice like music, her words cut deep, her eyes hold secrets. The world calls her teacher, but to me she's more. A light in the dark, an unopened door. My heart skipped a beat. "It's beautiful," I whispered. He smiled shyly. "It's about someone I admire." I didn't ask who. I didn't need to. Chapter 4. Crossing the Line. It was after a college seminar that it finally happened. We were walking back to campus in the evening when it began to rain. Students scattered, but we both stood under a tree, laughing at our bad luck. "Looks like we're stuck," I said. Rohan looked at me, his hair wet, his eyes burning with something I didn't dare name. "Sometimes I don't want the rain to stop," he said softly. I froze. The air between us grew heavy. For a moment, I forgot I was his teacher, forgot the rules, forgot everything but the way he was looking at me. Then, before I could stop myself, I whispered, "Neither do I." Chapter 5. The Secret Love. What began as stolen glances soon turned into something deeper. We met in the library, in empty classrooms, sometimes just walking in the park far from campus. We never said the words aloud, but it was clear we were in love. "I don't care about the world," Rohan said one evening. "I only care about you." His words frightened me. "But I'm your teacher. People won't understand." He took my hand gently. "Then let's not tell anyone. At least, not now." I knew it was wrong. I knew society would condemn us. But love has its own rules, and we had already broken them. Chapter 6. The Conflict. Rumors began. Students noticed his closeness to me. Colleagues raised eyebrows when he stayed late in class. I tried to keep distance, but it was too late. My heart was already his. One night, I cried in his arms. "We can't go on like this. If the college finds out, I'll lose my job. My reputation will be ruined." He held me tighter. "Then I'll wait. After graduation, I'll come to you openly. I'll marry you." The certainty in his voice startled me. He was only 21, but he spoke with the determination of a man who knew what he wanted. And deep inside, I wanted it too. Chapter 7. The Decision. 2 years passed. He finished his degree, while I kept my distance in public. The day he graduated, he came to me with flowers. "Now I'm no longer your student," he said with a smile. "Now you can be mine." Tears filled my eyes. Society, family, colleagues, everyone would question us. But when I looked at him, I saw only love. Pure, fearless, unshakable. And that was enough. Chapter 8. Marriage. Our wedding was small, attended only by close family and a few supportive friends. Many whispered, many judged. But when he held my hand and promised to stand by me forever, none of it mattered. I married my student. And though our love story was unconventional, it was ours. Chapter 9. Aftermath. Marriage wasn't easy. People gossiped, old colleagues avoided me, and some family members disapproved. But Rohan never let me feel alone. He became a writer, slowly gaining recognition. I continued teaching, though at another institution, and together we built a life based on love, respect, and resilience. Sometimes, late at night, we laughed about how it all began, with Shakespeare and A Summer's Day. Chapter 10. Acceptance. Years later, when people asked about our story, I smiled and said, "Yes, I married my student." But he taught me something too, that love doesn't care about rules, only about truth. And the truth was simple. I loved him, and he loved me. And that was all that mattered.